Very good morning, students. In the last class, we had studied weighted aggregative price index numbers. In that, we had studied Laspeyres index number, Pasteu's index number, Marshall-Edgeworth index number, Dorbish-Bowley's index number, Fisher's index number, and lastly, Kelly's index number. And also we had studied aggregative weighted index numbers based on price relatives, which is based on average of price relatives. In fact, based on the average, arithmetic mean and a geometric mean. Now in today's class we will be studying those aggregative weighted quantity index numbers. Earlier price index numbers we had studied. Now we will be studying in today's class quantity index numbers. We need to recall some of the facts which we have already studied, students. In that, the major one is when we are writing index number, it is nothing but a price index number. It need not be specified as a price index number. Just by writing index number, we will understand it to be a price index number. We know already this fact. And once when quantity index number has to be written, we may have to specify it as a quantity index number. When value index number is being written, we may have to specify it to be a value index number. But only in case of price index number, we need not specify as a price. As an index number, if you are writing it, it's understood that it is price index number. Fine. One more fact we had studied. When we are writing price index number, we will apply the weight as quantities. And when we will write quantity index numbers, we will have to apply prices as the weights. So now let us concentrate on quantity index numbers. Look at the cursor. Quantity index numbers can be written for the above formulae by considering quantity relatives and price as the weights. Here we have written above formulae. Above formulae in the sense which formulae we had studied in the previous video. Which were those? I have asked you to remember those in serial. Starting with Laspeyres. Next, what it is? Pasteu's. Next, Marshall-Edgeworth. And next, Dorbish-Bowley. And after that, Fisher's, and then lastly Kelly's index number. Now for those, we will be writing quantity index numbers instead of price index numbers. Those can be written for the above formulae by considering quantity relatives. Because they are quantity index numbers, we will be considering as the quantity relatives. Previously which we have written, it was price index numbers, we have considered as a price relatives. And once when you are considering quantity as the relatives, what should be the weights? The opposite one to quantity, that is prices must be as the weights. Previously, while writing price index numbers, we have already considered weights as quantities. So let's start studying these quantity index numbers. So these are weighted aggregative quantity index numbers. These are weighted, that's why weights will be applied. It's aggregative, that's why summation will be written both in numerator and denominator. So first one, last year's quantity index. See, quantity is being specified over here as quantity index. Then next, which has to be the index in serial, try to recall students, which has to be the next one. It has to be purchase quantity index. Then what should be the next? Try to recall and tell. It has to be a Marshall Edgeworth quantity index number. Next one, what it has to be, try to recall. It has to be a Darvish-Bowley's quantity index number. After that, what it is? Fisher's quantity index number. And after that, Kelly's quantity index number or a fixed weight quantity index number. Here this quantity is applicable for both as Kelly's index number as a quantity or else fixed weight quantity index. That way I have considered this to be quantity. Otherwise, more specifically it can be written as Kelly's quantity index number. That will have more meaning even. So why I have asked you to remember these all in serial? It was already explained in price index number earlier. So last year case, we will be using base year as the weights. Either it is quantity or price. If it is quantity index number, price as the weight we will write. If it is price index number, we will write it to be quantity as the weights. But the weight will be from base year in case of last year. In case of purchase, what will happen? It will be current year weights. In Marshall Edgeworth, what will happen? Arithmetic mean of both base year and current year weights will be applied. Correct? So those three have to be remembered in serial just because first it is base years, then next purchase it is current years, then Marshall Edgeworth it is both to be considered as current year and base years in the way of arithmetic mean of both current year and a base year. And after that, Darvish-Bowley's what it is? It's arithmetic mean of first two index numbers. Arithmetic mean of last year's and purchase. And after that, Fisher's index number or a Fisher's quantity index number. That is the geometric mean of first two last year's and purchase. And after that, Kelly's anyhow it is a fixed weight index number. Fixed weight quantity index number. Anyway, we can tell. If we tell fixed weight index number, it will be a price one. Fixed weight quantity index number, when we are telling it is a quantity index number. Hope you are following me, students. We shall see one by one how to write the formulae of these. First one, last year's quantity index number. Since these are quantity index numbers, this quantity relative will be used. What is that quantity relative? Since it is aggregative, we are writing both in numerator and denominator summation. Quantity relative is nothing but Q1 divided by Q0. Correct? We had studied already all these in previous classes. So sum of Q1 divided by sum of Q0. Look at the cursor. Sum of Q1 divided by sum of Q0. This fact is in the form of quantity relative. Weight applied should be price, and since it is last year's, it has to be base year price. That's why P0 and P0 is applied as the weight, multiplied by 100 as usual for an index number to be written to express in terms of percentage. And here left hand side Q is written, that is indicating that it is quantity index number. Q01 in the sense quantity index number in current year as compared to base year. This L is representing that it is last year's index. That's why considering all this Q01L, we can tell last year's quantity index number in current year as compared to base year. So this is how last year's index number will be written. Here base year price, that means P0, are used as the weight. Here P0 and a P0. How we had written last year's price index number? Here instead of, look at the cursor, here instead of sum of Q1 divided by Q0, we had used earlier that sum of P1 divided by P0. And instead of P0 and P0 to be applied as the weight, we had applied Q0 and Q0. That is what is the major difference between writing price and quantity index numbers. So next, purchase quantity index number. With reference to last year's, we can understand this. It will become Q01P because it is purchase. Sum of Q1 divided by sum of Q0 as it is in the viewpoint of quantity relative. Since it is purchase quantity index number, since it is quantity, price has to be applied as the weight. Look at the cursor, price has to be applied as the weight. But it is purchase, then current year price has to be applied as the weight, multiplied by 100 as usual to express in terms of percentage. So here current year price P1 are used as the weights. Next index number, what it has to be? Next it has to be Marshall-Edgeworth quantity index number, isn't it? So Marshall-Edgeworth's quantity index number. Try to recall how we had written Marshall-Edgeworth price index number. And what is the weight to be applied? It is to be applied the weight as both current year and base year's average. That means arithmetic mean, average of those two. So here the simplified version is written. I have explained how to write the simplified version using one more step before this in the case of price index number already. So here sum of Q1 Q0, sum of Q1 Q0, these two in the name of quantity relative we have. P0 plus P1 divided by 2 is the weight applied actually. Divided by 2 will be getting cancelled. Recall how we had written for price index number. Then after that the simplified version will be of this kind. I am asking you to recall or observe the previous video of mine and try to conclude with this finally written expression of Marshall-Edgeworth quantity index number. It's a very simple concept, student, which I'm asking you to perform, but still being very important concept, you have to learn how to write this index number of Marshall-Edgeworth. Usually students will be going wrong in writing these plus and plus both the sides in numerator and denominator. Most of the times I have come across the students to write in between one plus. That will be wrong practice. The entire meaning will get disturbed if you write only plus in between, or when you write both numerator and denominator, these two plus. The correct expression is to write both numerator and denominator plus. If you look at the previous video based on price index number, you will get clear-cut idea about this. I recommend you better to go through the previous video also. So here weights assigned are the average of base year and the current year prices. This we know already. Next, which index number it has to be? It has to be a Dorbish-Bowley's index number. So Dorbish-Bowley's quantity index number. Quantity has to be specified. So what is Dorbish-Bowley's quantity index number? It is the arithmetic mean of last year's and past year's quantity index numbers. That's what has been written over here. Look at the cursor. Q01 dB. dB is nothing but Dorbish-Bowley's. Q01L plus Q01P divided by 2. That divided by 2 is taken as half outside. So this half as it is in the next step. Q01L expression. We know already this has been replaced. And then Q01P also it has been replaced with its expression. Multiplied by 100 as in case of expressing it as like in the percentage form. So here Dorbish-Bowley's quantity index number is the arithmetic mean of last year's and past year's quantity index number. Look at the cursor for better understanding. This statement just now I read. It may be a question, 1 mark question, that what is the relationship between Dorbish-Bowley's last year's and past year's quantity index number? At that time the answer is Dorbish-Bowley's quantity index number is the arithmetic mean, because 1 divided by 2, only 2 aspects plus divided by 2, arithmetic mean it is. So it's the arithmetic mean of the last year's and past year's quantity index numbers. So here both base year as well as the current year prices are used as the weights. Correct? Here we have used base year prices. In case of this, we have used current year prices. Correct? So what should be the next index number? Fisher's index number. Correct? So next one is Fisher's quantity index number. We know already Fisher's quantity index number is the square root of, that means geometric mean of last year's and past year's quantity index numbers. That's why Q01F is equal to square root of Q01L multiplied by Q01P we have written. As in case of price index number, how we had written, in the similar way, this is quantity index number. So this Q01L has been splitted and written in its expanded form or a formula, and then this Q01P also has been written in its expansion and multiplied by 100 as it is. Why here multiplied by 100 is not written, but here it is written multiplied by 100. I have already explained you in case of price index number. Just to be in short, here these Q01L, Q01P, what we have written, it's already index number. Multiplication of 100 is already there. Even if you write multiplication 100 here, common it can be taken and written outside. Both the sides 100 and 100 if it is written, it will become 100 square. And out of the square root when it is coming, it will come out of the square root as 100. So multiplication of 100 here. So one more question may become possible. What is the relationship between Fisher's, last year's and past year's quantity index numbers? For that the answer is Fisher's quantity index number is the geometric mean of last year's and past year's quantity index numbers. And here also both base year as well as current year prices are used as weights. Correct? Here current year, here base year prices, and here current year prices we have used as the weights. Next one, Kelly's fixed weight quantity index number. Here it is fixed weight. That's why we have written P and P, fixed as the weights. And this is the quantity relative sum of Q1, sum of Q0. So Q01K, this is Kelly's. Sum of Q1 divided by sum of Q0 as the quantity relative form P and P fixed weight. Here neither it is P0 nor it is P1. P and P as the weight we have applied and multiplied by 100 it is written. This is what is list fixed weight quantity index number. The same format was used in price, but there sum of P1 divided by sum of P0 was there. Q and Q was the weight applied. So some more key points we may have to remember, students, which we shall consider in the next video class. Thank you so much.